Hello everyone, welcome back to Info Science. So in our previous video we have already discussed about the basic concept of acid and bases. So in today's part we will discuss about the chemical properties of acids and bases. So let's discuss about it. So the first property is that the reaction of acids with metals. So you see the acid, it reacts with metal to form the metal salt and releases hydrogen gas. That means acid, it reacts with metal to form salt and hydrogen gas. So let us take one example. So when zinc granules, it reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid in a test tube, it forms what? It forms the zinc chloride. So this zinc chloride, it is the salt, and it releases the hydrogen gas. So whenever the acid, it reacts with metal, it forms salt and hydrogen gas. The next property is that the reaction of bases with metals. So you see the base also, it reacts with metal and it evolves the hydrogen gas. But all metals, they do not react with bases. So now let us take one example. So the zinc granules, you see the zinc granules, it react with sodium hydroxide solution to form what? To form sodium zincate. So this sodium zincate, it is the salt and release the hydrogen gas. So you see this hydrogen gas which is released, in this case it can be tested by bringing the burning candle near the gas bubbles. So when it is bring near the gas bubbles, it bursts with the pop sound. So the metals, it react with base to form salt and hydrogen gas. The next property is that the reaction of acids with metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates. So you see acid reacts with metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates to form salt, carbon dioxide and water. So whenever acid reacts with metal carbonate or either metal hydrogen carbonate, it forms salt, carbon dioxide and water. So here let us take one example. So you see when hydrochloric acid, when hydrochloric acid, it reacts with sodium carbonate. So when it reacts with sodium carbonate, it forms sodium chloride, then carbon dioxide and water. Again, if this hydrochloric acid, it reacts with sodium hydrogen carbonate, then it forms sodium chloride, carbon dioxide and water. So here this carbon dioxide gas, it can be tasted by passing it through the lime water. So when it is passed through the lime water, it turns the lime water milky. So you see the reaction, calcium hydroxide that reacts with carbon dioxide, it forms the calcium carbonate and water. So when the excess carbon dioxide is passed in that, so then the milkiness, it disappears. So here the reaction is that the calcium carbonate, it reacts with carbon dioxide to form and also water, and which form the calcium hydrogen carbonates. So one thing we have got that the acids, it react with metal carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonate, it forms what? It forms salt, carbon dioxide and water. But this metal carbonate and the metal hydrogen carbonate, it do not react with bases. So there is no reaction. Next property is that the reaction of acids and bases with each other. So when the acid and base react with each other, it forms salt and water. So this reaction of acid with base, so that reaction is known as the neutralization reaction. So you see, let us take one example. So here, when hydrochloric acid, it reacts with sodium hydroxide, that is the base. So it forms what? It forms sodium chloride and water. Then the next property is that the reaction of metallic oxide with acid. So when acid it reacts with metallic oxide, it forms salt and water. So this metallic oxide, it is basic in nature. Okay, and also some of the example of metallic oxide are calcium oxide, magnesium oxide. So these are some examples of metallic oxide. So here let us take one example. So the hydrochloric acid, it reacts with calcium oxide, that is the metallic oxide. It forms what? It forms calcium chloride and water, that is the salt and water. Then the next chemical property is that the reaction of non-metallic oxide with base. So when the base it reacts with the non-metallic oxide, it forms what? It forms salt and water. So this non-metallic oxide, these are acidic in nature. So let us take one example. So when calcium hydroxide it reacts with carbon dioxide, it forms what? It forms calcium carbonate. So this calcium carbonate, it is the salt and water. So when base it reacts with non-metallic oxide, it forms salt and water. So this is all about the chemical properties of the acids and bases. Now let us know the similarities between all the acids and all the bases. So you see, all the acids they have the hydrogen ions in common. That means all acid it produce the hydrogen ions. So this, as the acids it produce the hydrogen ions in the solution, so for that only it is responsible for their acidic properties. Okay, then here all bases they have the hydroxyl ion in common. That means all bases they produce the hydroxyl ion. So this is the similarities between all the acids and all the bases. So one similarity is that all acids produce the hydrogen ion and all bases produce the hydroxyl ion. Next, let us know about the acid or base in the water solution. So you see, the acids, so acids produce hydrogen ion in presence of water. So in the presence of water, the acid produce the hydrogen ions, and these hydrogen ions they cannot exist alone. Okay, they exist as hydronium ion. So you can see here in the reaction, so this hydrogen ion they cannot exist alone, they exist in hydronium ions. So you see, in one example, that is we have taken the acid that is hydrochloric acid. So you see, this hydrochloric acid when react with water, it forms the hydronium ion, okay, and it release one chlorine ion. Next you see, when the base, okay, when the base it dissolves in water, it gives what? It gives the hydroxyl ion. So you see, this base that is the sodium hydroxide, when it is dissolved in water, it forms what? It forms the sodium ion and one hydroxyl ion. So this bases that is soluble in water, they are known as alkali. So whenever this bases it react with water, that bases they are known as the alkalis. And one of the important thing, it should be noted that when diluting the acid, it is always recommended that acid should be added in water, but not the water to acid. So here one reason is that, why? Because you see, because the process of dissolving an acid or base in water, it is highly exothermic. Now let us know about the strength of acid and base. So you see, the strength of the acid or base, it can be estimated by using the universal indicator. So this universal indicator means what? it is the mixture of several indicators, okay, several indicators, and that indicator it shows different concentration of the hydrogen ions in the solution. So this universal indicator, this shows that the concentration of the hydrogen ions in the solution. So you see, let us now know about the concept of the pH scale. So this pH scale is what? This pH scale, it is the scale that is used for measuring the hydrogen ion concentration in the solution. And here the P in the pH, it stands for the potence, that is the German word, and that means the power. So this pH, when it is, you can see here in the picture, this is the pH scale. So this pH, when it is 7, it shows that it is a neutral solution, okay. And if the pH it is less than 7, so that means it shows that it is the acidic solution. And when the pH it is more than 7, then it shows it is that basic solution. So this is all about the concept of the pH scale. Now let us know about the importance of this pH in everyday life. So this pH, it has many importance, okay. So first is the pH in our digestive system. So you see, as we all know that in our stomach also some acids are there. So in our stomach, dilute hydrochloric acid is there. So this dilute hydrochloric acid, it helps in the digestion of food in our stomach. And when these acids it become excess in our stomach, it causes the acidity. So this, how we can get relief from this acidity? So in that case we have to take antacids. So antacids like magnesium hydroxide, which is also known as milk of magnesia, and sodium hydrogen carbonate, which is known as the baking soda. So these two antacids, they help to neutralize this excess acid. Then the next important of pH is that the tooth decay, which is caused by the acid. So you see, the bacteria that is present in our mouth, you see our mouth have many bacteria. So that bacteria it converts the sugar into acid. So sugar, what is about the whatever the food we eat, it contains some sugar, right? So that sugar, it is converted into acids. So when the pH of the acids that form in the mouth, it falls below 5.5, so then it starts the tooth decay, okay. So how to stop that? We have to use toothpaste, means we should always brush our teeth regularly so that we can prevent from the tooth decay. So this toothpaste is generally the basic, so that's why this is neutralized. Next is the pH of the soil. So you see, most of the plants, they have a healthy growth when the soil have a specific pH that is close to 7, which should be neither alkaline nor the highly acidic. Then the next importance of the pH is the self-defense by animals and plants through the chemical warfare. So you see, sometimes the bee, they used to bite, right? So what happens? The bee stings, it leaves an acid, and that acid only it causes the pain and irritation. So in that case, the use of the mild base like baking soda on the stung area where the bee has stung, so in that area if it is put, so we get relief. And another one is the stinging here of the nettle leaves. So it injects the methanoic acid, okay, and it causes the burning sensation or pain. So in that case, the rubbing with the leaf of dock plane, it gave release. So this is all about the importance of pH in everyday life. So in this part we have discussed about the chemical properties of acids and bases, then the similarity of all the acids and all bases, and also about the concept of the pH scale and its importance in everyday life.